Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the AOM World Monthly Webinar. And for this month, it's December is IT Asset Awareness Month. Let's get started. My name is Harry Brailsford. I'm coming to you live today from Boston, and I am the CEO founder of SMB Nation and Microsoft 365 Nation, both communities and ecosystems supporting technology in the SMB space and beyond. It's a pleasure that you took time out of your day to join us. Tim, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tim Kubiak. I'm CEO of ZPI. We are a alternative to OEM maintenance company, and we go to market 100% through channel partners 100% of the time.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. So folks, if you're not aware, and you have my permission over on screen number 2 to go to IAITAM, the International Association of IT Asset Management, and we're really good friends with them. And Dr. Barb coined this phrase some time ago, and she said it best. If you're not managing your IT assets, you're not managing your business properly. Tim, my thoughts on this, and then over to you, is one way or another, you are going to learn to manage your IT assets in your business. There's the easy way, and there's the hard way. And in the month of December, a phrase that Dr. Barb also coined is just a side note, December being IT Asset Awareness Month. Tim, she made that up over a decade ago and it got traction. It's kind of like today is peanut butter day, and it actually worked. Over to you. What are your thoughts about proper management of IT assets and running your business?
So I'm going to draw from some personal experience. And before joining ZPI, I worked for a global technology distributor, and some of the largest companies in the world were my customers and the part of the organization that I ran. And one of the things that we saw was a large public school district every year on average lost $5 million in assets between the end of one school year and the beginning of the other. So asset management matters. And for this audience, I think it matters slightly differently than Dr. Barb's main audience, if you will. So she's dealing with IT asset managers, often in the corporate set. Now, there's certainly channel partners in there, and they're members of her association, and they're great. And we love that partnership, right? And we do a lot with them, and we sponsor a lot. But where I think there's the opportunity to build beyond that, and why I'm so happy to be talking about this today, is I think channel partners have a way to not only add true value, because the word value has been lost a lot in the channel ecosystem in recent years, back to their customers just by managing assets. It's also a way to monetize the business differently for them.
There we go. Let's move on. Questions that need to be answered. How to know of and control your assets. Make the most of the asset lifecycle investments to improve IT services and make smarter decisions. Seems like a no-brainer to me, Tim, that the more you know, the more effective and efficient you are. Thoughts?
So absolutely true. And anyone who's been in the business for any period of time has probably walked around with a clipboard, a notebook, or an Excel sheet and tried to count things, especially if you've ever been on the deployment side of things or the refresh side of the business, actually in the field as a technical resource or a business owner. Understanding what is there is absolutely critical, and also understanding where it sits. And part of the solution where we'd like to help people, and when we work with our distribution partners, is determining when refresh is right and when extended support is right. And you can't do that if you don't know what you have.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, view it as an investment, and the investment can be a forward investment to extend the life of the assets. Next bullet point, reduce technology cost. Automate your asset life cycle processes to minimize repetitive tasks and wasted resources. Now, folks, before I go any further, that's actually the topic next month is automation. And we're going to show you some tools that will do that for you. But Tim, I guess I'm old school. I come up through the ranks where that was our job in technology, was to reduce technology costs. And I'll give you an example. I'm well known for Small Business Server, and back in the early 2000s, we did some, I guess I call it regression testing or some analytics. We didn't even call it analytics back then. And we found that the introduction of Small Business Server into an SMB got 20% more productivity out of the staff. And so we always joke that they could take Friday off. But it was always a cost story. Any thoughts on reducing technology cost?
So I think there is the technology cost, and then there's actually the environmental cost of new technology too. And I think, honestly, the conversation's moving towards both of those. So first of all, technology cost, if you look, and we'll go back in the day, I came up on the voice side of the business, right, when people were still LAN in a can and Microsoft and Novell were battling it out well before voice over IP, if the white hair doesn't give it away. And one of the things you saw is refresh cycles in those days were, manufacturers were driving you for 36-month refresh cycle on IT computer networking assets, where voice assets at that period had a 7 to 9 year refresh cycle. And we're actually seeing the refresh cycles because of budget constraints, because of evolving tech, stretch on things that were previously 3 years, 5 years, going out further and further on the IT asset side. Now, manufacturers, that's a challenge for them. But if I'm running a business, if I'm helping manage that and I'm conserving capital and reinvesting differently, reducing that expenditure is a way to reduce that technology cost. And then I hinted at the environmental piece. There is a cost to every new thing that's manufactured and shipped, and whether you want to take it in carbon, minerals, etc. So by extending the asset of that as long as you can, you're also reducing the environmental cost of technology.
Next up, mitigate IT asset risk. Enforce your asset policies and regulatory requirements automatically to limit overall risk. I have a thought on this. A well-known thought leader in the SMB Nation and Microsoft 365 Nation space, Carl Palachuk, has recently joined with other thought leaders to start for lack of a better word, a trade association. They actually call it a society for MSPs and other interested IT parties to help set public policy in terms of regulatory requirements. Because with the way that the hackers are playing now, they go through an MSP one to many, and if they can hack the MSP, they can hack several small school districts in Texas that the MSP serves. And so there's now going to be regulatory action taken about that. And it's also getting harder to get cyber insurance. And so by, a tip of the hat and a nod to mitigating IT asset risk, it's both from a policy level, but I would offer cybersecurity. That's getting very expensive, Tim, and it's getting harder to get.
So I had worked very extensively in cyberspace, as you know, for a number of years. And Josh, I saw you raise your hand. So let me see if I can allow you to talk here real quick before I answer that. Josh should be able to speak now. I'm happy to answer anything you have.
And Tim, since I'm live on screen, if you can drive the comments and the hand raisers, I certainly appreciate it.
Now, can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah.
Hey, I recognize that voice. How you doing?
Yeah, once or twice. Hey, question. I know you said that you were going to cover this in next month's topic, but maybe you could preface it for us today. I've used a variety of systems, stuff from Manage Engine, Spiceworks, you name it, ConnectWise, Synchro, etc. So a lot of those tools can help us. You said you're going to mention some of those. I know you don't want to go into depth today, but maybe even towards the end here, can you tell us what some of those tools would be for an ITAM? Some of the ITAMs that you guys think are good, basically.
Yeah, Tim, where I'm going with this is we're going to give a demo of the portal next month. And Josh, to your point, I'll go ahead and round it out. I'll round out the presentation as an industry presentation because I'm all about ecosystems and logos, right? So in all fairness, the tools you mentioned are great, but we're going to show a portal. Tim, if you want to tease them with some portal talk.
Sure. So, and you're absolutely right, Josh, right? There are a ton of great tools out there. Part of what we've done at ZPI is we're looking at, to Harry's word, ecosystem. We're looking at helping build an ecosystem that maybe allows people to manage assets in the channel from the point of sale. So from the time they leave the distributor all the way through disposition. That includes some APIs into well-known tools, and we've built our own asset management portal, and we're not a software company because we'll give it to anyone for free. We're a maintenance company, and ultimately we sell our alternative to OEM maintenance. And so we believe that we've invested in a tool, we've put focus groups and committees together, we've committed serious capital to continuing to innovate. We're going to show that off a little bit next month. I do good on the tease?
Yep, you did. And Josh, you're officially on the next focus group panel. I know how to reach you.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
I think it's pertinent. So, Harry, we met recently, and I mentioned, and this is true, I have a need. You mentioned that long time, the 7-year cycle now, right? I mean, it used to be 3 to 5 years we'd shift, but now you don't have the killer app per se driving that. You have budget problems if you're in food service, et cetera.
Well, supply chain. supply
of
chain and
course.
COVID.
So yeah, well, the COVID drove the food service problems depending on where you landed on that equation. So
Correct.
the question I have there is, as an example, I have some older Ecologic equipment. Is that something that you guys would cover? How does that work?
Tim, over to you.
Yeah, so the answer is I am happy to have a conversation on that. I need to ask you a few more questions, get a list of materials and stuff. In general, our entire purpose for being in business, in the core of our business, where we fit best and where we're designing and truly trying to help partners, MSPs, SIs, is, that year 1 through year 3 fits really well in the OEM support. But when it starts to age, when the images are set or it goes end of life disco, that's really where we excel. And we support tens of thousands of assets all over the place from a variety of manufacturers, and it's growing every day, that are that exact thing. So Josh, Harry, you know how to get us in touch.
I do.
We can hop on a call. We can talk about what you have. I'll bring my smart people, because frankly, there's a lot of people that know how to really make it go that aren't me. And, we'll get you an answer pretty quick.
And Josh, shout out. Really enjoy seeing you at ConnectWise IT Nation. Give IT Nation a second look if you haven't gone before in 2022. Really, really good conference. Let's move on.
So Harry, if I could come back to your IT asset risk mitigation.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things, right, is coming at it from the cyber angle that you brought up there just very quickly. The attack surface has changed. And traditionally you look, it was your printers, it was your servers, it was your PCs. Now it's every mobile device, and we know that. But as you get into smart homes, people working from homes and all of that, the entire security posture has to change. If we were talking 7 or 10 years ago, everybody would be saying BYOD. And at this point, right, it's just everything is connected, and it's going to continue to go that way. And if you don't know what's supposed to be connected, you can never block the other folks out.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's an evergreen career choice, no question about it. So the secret is automation. We've already talked about that, and we're going to show you some examples next month. But Tim, over at ZPI, the parent company of AOM World, automation is the development paradigm, if you want to talk about that.
So it is, right? And one of the problems, if you look at TPM, and it's a 40-year-old industry, and it's a great industry, and good companies run it.
Oh, and that's third-party maintenance for the audit.
Thank you. Yes, third-party maintenance. And what we said is, and Harry was right there at the beginning of this, is an alternative to OEM maintenance. We looked at the shortcomings and building the better mousetrap, if you will. And part of that was turning quotes quickly. Part of that was investing in automation, building our own tools, not being dependent on other people's technologies, and also being able to scale beyond traditional. And if you look, we've moved from data center down to endpoint and everything in between in the 4 years of the company, and we're continuing to expand industries and segment focuses.
Yep. That raises a valid point. Actually, we kind of teased this slide out a little bit, but folks, if you haven't taken a peek at AOM.world, so it's a vanity URL, aom.world, you'll see that it's an ecosystem, a community similar to our SMB Nation, Microsoft 365 Nation, our good friends over at Spiceworks. But Tim, to your point, one of the purposes, one of the reasons for being at AOM World is that we want to take care of the SMBs. So historically, third-party maintenance was a conversation at the data center, enterprise level, and so on. But we think we have the secret sauce. We think we have the secret sauce to bring this down to the SMB level for MSPs and IT service providers. Tim, I think we have a chat if you want to keep me honest and see if someone's asking a question.
Josh just actually kind of sent across what he's looking for us to catch up with him on. So I think we've got that one answered already.
All right, folks. This is a great opportunity to ask your questions. And while you're formulating your questions, I do want to remind you, you're within 24 hours going to get a 56-page book that describes alternative to OEM maintenance. It's a PDF, so that's going to be in your inbox. Keep an eye out for that. And Tim, let's talk about what we're doing. This is the first of an ongoing series of monthly webinars. So it's kind of cool that we picked December is IT Asset Awareness Month to kick it off. But folks, every month we're going to have a relatively short form webinar to respect your time. I think all of us have done the 60, 90-minute webinars. And quite frankly, I'm zoomed out. So we want to be concise and have a quick hitter between 15 and 30 minutes every month and make that part of the AOM.world motion. I would also encourage you to sign up at AOM World so you're in our ecosystem and you're aware of content and some of the research we're generating, some of the opportunities we're generating. No cost to join. Please take a second, if you like, while you're thinking of your questions, to go to AOM.world, and over on the far right of the title bar, there's the opportunity to sign up. Tim, did we bring any questions in?
No new questions, but if I can.
Yeah.
Oh, in the webinar series, we're going to show you our shiny stuff, but also we want to add value every time. And as Harry said, quick form, useful information. If what we're talking about isn't helping you see opportunities to monetize your partners in the channel, and remember, I only sell through distribution and I only sell to channel partners at the parent ZPI. That is our promise. That is where we stand. We don't compete with our customers. So if you have topics you want us to cover, other ideas or thoughts, or even innovations in the portal, which is also always free, please let us know. Drop us a line.
Tim, I'm going to add to that. We may have some people over in the Microsoft 365 Nation community. We do have IT pros. And if you're one of those people, there's sign up because part of our roadmap will actually be to be a matchmaker. Now, we're not there today, so I don't want to mislead you, but the idea with this community is we're not going to go as far as being a marketplace, but we're going to have behaviors like a matchmaker. So even IT pros can benefit from being in the loop, and we can connect you with a channel partner, an MSP, an IT service provider that could take care of your needs. How's that sound, Tim?
Sounds amazing.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, have a happy holiday season. Thank you for joining us on our inaugural monthly webinar. We'll see you next month. I'm Harry Brailsford with Tim Kubiak. Have a great day.